Out with this gentleman for a long time, over a year and some change of getting to know one of my favorite people on the planet. Because as a person who is trying to get their fitness goals in check, I needed somebody who was a champion, someone who was a master of their field, someone who is my guiding light in getting all this fatness off my body. I got the fam, one of the best cats on the planet from the Infinite team, the CEO of Infinite. We have Walter Chambers coming and rocking with us here on Spawn on Me. How are you doing, sir? How is everything going, fam?
What up, Cobb? I'm so happy to be here. So happy to talk fitness, gaming, and just getting right for both the summertime and for the rest of your life. So I'm hyped to have this conversation with you, my man.
Fam, I'm so happy to finally get a chance to do this. We have talked about this for a long period of time of getting together
Yes.
and getting together and rocking and having some conversations about not only your amazing journey and the work that you've been able to do and literally you changing lives across the planet, but this really dope mashup of gamification and kind of game language and game community with giving people the ability to get their fitness in check and get themselves in the best shape that they've ever been in.
hmm
Talk to me a little bit about, your journey. Talk to me a little bit about how you got into the space and what are the things you've been kind of working on, to get you to this moment where you're now launching and have launched over a couple of years this really dope platform called Infinite.
Yeah. So I'm a hardcore gamer at heart. I've been gaming for dang near 30 years, about to hit my age right now. um, and it really started with my love for gaming. It started with getting on the NES, playing Duck Hunt, Super Mario. Then that evolved to, the Super NES and Game Boy and just really heavily Nintendo aspects. And then I got exposed to PC gaming and at a very, very young age because I had an older neighbor and he was a hardcore PC master race. So he really influenced a lot more of the mature types of games into my lifestyle. And it just grew from there. And it really started with RPGs that really got me to fall in love with gaming for life. Just that aspect of being the hero, the main protagonist, gaining XP, leveling up, and learning new skills, fighting harder monsters, and going through that progression path for me was just game changing and life changing. And when it comes to just gaming and how that bridge that gap to fitness, really was just being unhealthy, man. I was gaming for every single free time I had. I was gaming. If I wasn't going to school, I was gaming. If I wasn't going outside playing with friends or playing sports or something like that, I was gaming. And of course, when new games started to come out and the gaming industry started to grow and evolve and become more creative, I spent more time gaming. And what comes with that is, sitting on the couch for long periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
I had these half-gallon iced teas with like 100 grams of sugar every single day, every
Wow.
day. It was just sugar, 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 sugar down my throat. And over time, I gained tons of weight. And yeah, I just felt lethargic. Mental health started to play a role as well. When I was started or wanted to be active, I was really hard. I was getting exhausted. And at the big pivotal moment for me was family.
Mm.
My dad was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and that changed my life. And when I experienced that, it really showed me the importance of health, the importance of life, and taking care of our bodies and really doing something that's going to help us live a happier, healthier, more energetic, and vibrant life. And he really showed me the value of everything that we do in our life. And it was that experience going through that really got me to look inside of myself when it comes to health and fitness, to really learn a way to approach health and fitness in a game like way, because
Mm.
I loved gaming and I wanted to experience those systems and those experiences in real life. And I just couldn't figure out how to do it. And this is when I started to really build what we call now as Infinite. And it's my dad beating cancer, going through that experience. It's my love for RPGs, and it's the universal need and desire to grow and master ourselves and just be healthier and happier. That for me was how it really all started. And it's now infinite, is what I call it.
It's fantastic. I mean, we saw a little bit of a glimpse of it in our ad break, and the dope video that you shared with me, and to kind of give the team at home and everybody at home a little bit of information about what Infinite is. But break it down for everybody at home who's listening, who might not have seen the video version of it in audio forms of the podcast. Go check us out on Spotify if you want to see the video and YouTube versions of the show.
Yes.
But tell everybody, exactly like what does this mean in terms of a user coming to the platform, and what are they kind of engaging with in their day-to-day fitness goals, and the way you're kind of laying those out for them? Because one of the hardest things, and we've had many conversations about this, is consistency, and alongside that, motivation. Motivation is an extremely hard thing to kind of tackle, especially if you're kind of getting into learning about your body and understanding the things that you need and the things you don't. Talk to me about, the platform itself and the gamification layers that you're kind of employing.
Yeah, so Infinite is a fitness fantasy RPG, and we are bridging the gap between the virtual worlds and reality with every single update, with every single individual that comes in and plays our experience. And you mentioned something really, really important when it comes to the fitness game, which is motivation, consistency, and of course, the ultimate, which is discipline, right? And something that I've always taught and always really preached is that it's not something that you have, it's something that you do. And everyone, when it comes to gamers and specifically, already has it. Just think about the games that you're currently playing. There's always those games that you just always come back to, or just when you boot it up, you just already know what to do, and you just want to keep it going through that experience and just improving and growing and challenging yourself. And it's no different in the fitness world. And that's exactly what we do, is we really just take your current skill sets that you've built through years and years of gaming and apply that to fitness. And we do that in a fun and an engaging way, because fitness can be very overwhelming. It's heavily scientific. We have a science-backed approach through my 15 years of professional experience. And it can be really, really daunting. There's a lot of scientific jargon. There's a lot of complexities and depth. But guess what? You've already experienced it as a gamer. You can go through that same thing with your games. You can boot up a simple game and go through a simple experience, but fitness can be very, very complex. Think of it like any RPG, right? I always have the examples of like D&D, World of Warcraft, and of course Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
which changed my life. That's why I have a cloud sword around my neck. But that's exactly what we do. We kind of make it fun, we make it engaging, but we add a level of professionalism and a science-backed, proven approach that is systematic, just like the systems that you experience inside games. And the big thing when it comes to RPGs is personalization, right? So when it comes to driving motivation, driving consistency, everyone, in my opinion, needs to have a personalized approach, because everyone's lives are different. Everyone has a different schedule. Everyone has different habits, different goals, different body types, and all kinds of things. So that's the big thing when it comes to health and fitness, is there's a lot of people who'd like to copy what other people are doing, copy what motivates other people, copy what other people are consistent with. And that might work for the short term, but for the long term, which is, what we preach, is long-term satisfaction over short-term gratification. It has to be personalized. It has to be structured. That's in a way that's going to be fitting your life and your lifestyle and your goals, your wants, your needs, and of course, the ultimate version of yourself or your hero that you want to be in the fitness world.
What I love about your approach has been, and again, this is me talking from personal experience, has been, for full transparency, we've been working together for about a year and some change. And working through my fitness goals. And what I love about your approach has been that layer of specialized and very personal attention, right? I think a lot of folks who are doing this work kind of standardize it in a way, and they kind of like give it to everybody in the same way. but it's been really cool to see not only kind of poking into the Facebook groups that you have and the other places where people are kind of congregating and talking about their journeys. It's been so many different variations of human beings in those groups. It's been so many different kinds of people, various ages, various body types, and the folks who are having the most success are speaking to the very personalized versions of coaching that you're giving, alongside, meal plans and other ways that you're kind of helping them with supplements and other things like that go along with the, here are your workouts for the day, and kind of getting you in that space. But I love the fact that you've tied those things to analogs that we already know from gaming spaces, right? Like, everyone kind of has an archetype that they are kind of working through to kind of like talk about where they currently are and where they are kind of moving. When you started the process of thinking about how you wanted to tie those two worlds together, what were some of the first ideas that you thought about that really kind of like said, oh, this might be something that actually resonates with this very specific group of people? Because, gamers are in and of itself very, very different than I think a lot of other groups that are looking to kind of change the way that they think about fitness. What were those initial analogs that you saw that were like, oh, this might be the secret sauce to Infinite?
Oh yeah. So very, very first thing that sparked the idea was classes. That was the first thing I ever created in Infinite. And what the big reason why is I just loved creating a custom character in every single game. I love designing, how my character looked, what my character did, what he specialized in. I'm always like this strength build, aggro berserker and like barbarian, essentially in every RPG. I just love running in and just destroying things. Almost cursed, but
you can cuss if you want, but I get it. No worries.
So the classes, but the big thing is the question is, how can you integrate classes in a fitness game, so to speak? Well, actually, training styles. There are a number of different ways that you can train in fitness. There's not just one way. You don't have to always go to the gym and do bicep curls, right? There's so many different training styles. And that's when I really made that connection, is like, well, what's a barbarian? Well, definitely a bodybuilder. They're strong, they're savage creatures, muscular. They run in the battle, they're intense. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, what would be like a power lifter? Someone who's moving heavy weight? Well, for us, we thought that was an orc. Massive, savage creatures, huge. They could literally move anything, destroy things. And then it's like, okay, well, what about the little fundamentals of exercise, like body weight training? What would that be? It's like, well, it's kind of like a rogue, right? Agile, swift. They could jump around, move around. They have control over their body. It's almost like they're controlling gravity. And that's really what it started when it comes to Infinite, was really bridging that gap of like, what could fitness be like if it was an RPG? And classes were that first step. Then we took it a whole nother level with masteries, which are fitness goals, right? Everyone has different fitness goals. Well, masteries are like a way for you to focus on one particular primary goal, like, for example, weight loss or fat loss, or building muscle, gaining weight for the people who are struggling to gain weight, and we just included multiple masteries, multiple goals over time. And then we just take it another deeper level, which is one of the most important aspects of fitness and, of course, RPGs as well, which is progression, right? Everyone can't start at level 50, right? Everyone has to start at their level, and that might be level 1. And if you are experienced in fitness, that might be level 20. But how do you progress from there? And that's where we have our rank system. So you have a clear progression path going from rank 1 to rank 2 to rank 3 for more difficult challenges, for more fun and different experiences inside the gym, outside the gym or wherever you're doing your workouts. So that's really the foundation of what we built here. Is we literally just started to bridge these gaps in a unique way. And all I really did was take the systems that I built in fitness and combine it with the systems that I loved in all my favorite RPGs, like the Elder Scrolls, Final Fantasy, WoW, and all of these other phenomenal, intelligently designed games that we know and love.
What I think is really fun too, and a thing that I appreciate, because I think, my one of my biggest pitfalls and one of my biggest debuffs is sugar. If you want to talk about it in
Well
video
said.
game terms, in those ways, it's one of my kryptonites, is a big sweets lover. But what I've loved about the program has been the fact that you're not only kind of guiding from a fitness perspective in terms of the actual, like, here are some workouts to try, here are some modifications you can do if your body isn't ready for these very specific ones. But I really appreciate the fact that you're going into the nutrition layers of all of this and tying it to very, again, easy analogs to understand if you're a gamer of, a lot of people, when they, a lot of the conversations now in the fitness world is like, you got to figure out your macros and you got to get it, like, da da da. And again, like, that's great for people who have that language kind of nailed down and understand the very minutia of what that means.
We're at that level.
Really cool. Yeah, but it's been really cool to see you tie those things specifically to ideas that are gamified in the gaming space of, if you eat this amount of calories, this is your fuel to get from one quest to the other quest. Like, the way you're thinking and talking about those things. Talking to me a little bit about the nutrition side too, because I thought that was really important and really, really well done.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So we have a holistic approach where we have something called the core four. We call it physical combat, nutritional alchemy, mental intellect, and RPG gamification. And we bridge all of these gaps based on all of my experience as a certified nutritionist, as a strength and conditioning coach, and a mental performance mastery coach. I take all of my experience and combine it into one, because we believe that you can't just focus on one particular area. And the big reason why is everything is interconnected. How you perform in your workouts is directly connected with your nutrition. What you do with your nutrition is directly connected to your mindset about nutrition and what your knowledge, right? And of course, what drives all of that from a motivational perspective of you showing up and actually taking action is the RPG gamification aspect of you approaching it like a game, wanting to learn new things and take action. And the nutritional component, which is what we call alchemy, is so pivotal for a lot of people because it is the most challenging aspect for a lot of people. You mentioned sugar was one of those, your bane, that one debuff. Well, guess what? I love sugar too. Matter of fact, I just had a bun before our chat right now.
You bun eater! How dare you!
It was awesome Korean bun. It was awesome.
How dare you eat sugar? God damn. Anyway,
it was great. But here's the thing: we don't look at it as, oh, we can't have that, or, oh, it's going to be bad for me, or, hey, it's going to hold me back. It's like, no. When it comes to nutrition, there's a way that you can implement it into your lifestyle so that it can fuel progress and also fuel energy levels. It can also fuel other aspects. So we pretty much try to educate people on the fact that it's not something that you can or can't have. It's also something based on your current build and your current stats, like in a game, you might be able to highly benefit from it. So in this example, I have a high amount of carbs that I need for the day because I'm focusing on building strength. Without that bun, I don't think I would be able to perform at my best when I go to my workout later. And that's when it comes to strategy, is really providing people the tools, the tactics, the strategies, and the education backed by science that's going to drive how you look, how you feel, and how you function, energy levels, and just overall mood, so that you can go throughout life and go through all the battles that you're facing that are in your control and out of your control with more energy, more vitality, and just really approach things in a way that's going to be healthy and sustainable over the long period of time. And that's something that we've been working on, is really trying to work on that sustainability and really dive into the habits of nutrition that are going to be driving the results over time. Because one small step might be like, it's not really that significant, but do that over 30 days, 90 days, a year. Well, guess what? That small step will be a mountain climbed. And that's
Yeah.
the power of habits, nutrition, and combining all these areas together in a way that's going to create a lifestyle that you can have fun with, just like any game that you play.
I think one of the most happy and rewarding parts of being in the Infinite program has been able to see so many folks have those life transformations, and seeing so many folks being able to, be in the body that they want to inhabit. That, you know what I mean? It's a lot to get there, and it takes a lot of discipline and a lot of, work to get there. What have been some of the success stories that you've heard and seen over the past couple of years with the platform?
Oh man, the reason why I do this is because of those transformations. It was because that very first person that told me I changed their life. It's one thing to, achieve your own personal goals, and it's the first step, I would say, for someone who wants to guide and help other people. But it's another thing when you have that responsibility to use that knowledge and experience that you've had and gained over constant iteration, right? Trial and error, failure, time dedication, resources. It's like when you have that knowledge and you give that to other people and it makes an impact on their life, it can literally change your life. And that's exactly what has happened to me. I've worked with individuals who were 300 plus pounds, who tried everything, tried every diet, tried every workout, was constantly trying new things. Doctors telling them that they need to get on medication, all these different things. And I've seen them literally get back to their high school weight, getting below 200 pounds, go through that journey that has taken, months, if not years, adding months and years to their life. I think about it like that. It's like these transformations added years to their life, even though it might have taken a good amount of time. Like that's what made it fulfilling to really go through that transformation process with these people and not just focus so much on the outcome, but the process with every single individual. And again, I've worked with pro athletes. I have 3 first place champions across 3 different sports, about to hopefully have 4 in the next couple months. I've worked with normal, average people, normal gamers who are just trying to be a little bit healthier, to have a little bit more energy so that they could be with their kids and have fun and just not be held back by their bodies. It's those transformations that really, really speak to me. And we have so many on our website if you want to visit our website and read these individual stories yourself. But it's those transformations that really speak to me and really drives my passion for both gaming and my purpose to help other people. And I truly believe it comes down to having the right systems, having the right support, and having the right community that is going to be encouraging and also provide you that feedback that every single person needs when they're taking action that might not be there with all the effort that you're putting into. And I think that's so important for people, because I think there's a lot of people who are trying to approach this solo, try to figure everything out on their own. And that's great. I've been there. I've done that. But guess what? It's the slowest path. There was a lot of plateaus. There was a lot of misinformation that I was following. And once you step foot into a fantasy RPG world where there's experts and professionals and other people that are going through this experience with you, it's a completely different way to approach fitness, and it's sustainable, and it is literally infinite, Ka. So
I love that. I think one of the things that I keep coming back to when thinking about your work and thinking about my time within the system and thinking about, all the layers that go along with it, I think one of the most intimidating parts of the journey is feeling intimidated, not only by the work that is involved and the self discipline that you need to kind of get over whatever initial plateaus that takes. You and I have had this conversation for a long time about those, because I'm stubborn and the pain in the ass. But what I've appreciated a ton has been your ability, and I'm gonna gush about you for a hot second, is your ability to not only bring it down to a level that feels safe and feels welcoming and feels people don't want their hands held a lot, but I think you being a person who is willing to take those extra moments, those extra times to check in, with me, and I'm sure the entire Infinite community, has really made this feel like a very different kind of program. It made it feel very personable and personal in so many different ways. And I think I want to give you props for implementing that part of this for other people, because I think if you ask anyone who has trouble with their weight, or anyone who is, not happy with what they look at in the mirror sometimes, it is so hard to reach out to people to say, I need help. And I need someone who's going to be able to be there, who's going to be able to give me good guidance and not BS me. Like you're a sweet human being, and you do it with kindness and with a gentle hand, but you also will be like, yo, Kai, did you do such and such? And I'll be like, I'm sorry, Walt. I didn't do that thing. My thing is, when I'm traveling a lot, I just, everything kind of goes out the window. Or if I'm busy and my brain's not in it, everything goes out the window. But there has never been a time throughout those, the entire time that we've been doing this together, where you've ever made me feel bad about missing something or getting something wrong, or feeling like I'm also not hitting my goals, and we've been doing this for a while, but that's been on me and not on you, right? So I think what I've loved about the process is that you have continued to be there for people in a time when people are very much abandoning other people. So I love that about the program and the work you get a chance to do. And it just makes me really happy to see this continue to grow. And I know you've got a big milestone coming up with some new changes to the platform that, the platform is yours to talk about, any of the new changes that are coming up for the new versions and stuff. But I wanted to add that in there before we go, because I think it's really important for listeners to understand that, like, if you do jump into the pool with Walt and jump into this program with Infinite, you're going to get really world-class support. And I think that is something that has been really paramount for me and has really come through with every interaction we've had and every session that we've had. So I want to thank you for that and tell you that I appreciate you greatly. For
My
that.
pleasure.
That's huge.
My pleasure. And I just want to say that when it comes to getting that feedback, getting that support, getting that guidance, the big difference between you staying the same or going backwards is you having that forward open mindset. And I think that's essential, right? When we make mistakes, which will happen, right? There will be setbacks that are in our control and out of our control. It's how you pivot and how you react, because that's all we have control of, is how we react to things. And, I could scold you, I'd be like, oh, why'd you do this? You didn't do that. You're failing, da, da, da. It's like, no, cool. What can we do better? Right? How can we learn from this? How can we grow from this? How can we take that step forward rather than stay still or start to take steps back? So I wanted to really emphasize that this is where the mental intellect aspect of Infinite comes in. It's really, really the mindset aspect of growth, having that growth mindset, that open mindset of really always finding that alternative path forward, just like in any game, right? When you fight that boss, right, and you fail and you get mollywopped and you just get destroyed, right? What are you going to do? You're just going to complain, or you just quit? Like, no, you're going to look at it strategically. What can I do better? Oh, I should maybe dodge here, or maybe there's a better strategy. Maybe there's a weakness that I can use, right? And that's really the mindset that you want to have with fitness, is don't look at actions as failures. Look at it as opportunities to learn, grow, and improve. And I think every single person, if you just apply that, will just be making way more progress. And of course, if you apply that in Infinite, then you could just literally take that to the next level.
Well, before we let you go, I want to give you a chance to plug all the things, tell everybody about some new advancements that are coming to the Infinite platform, and let people know where they can get involved if they want to start their fitness journey alongside you.
Oh yeah, so we just launched Infinite 4.0, 20 years in the making. I started my fitness journey in 2005.
Wow.
That's when I started to learn all about the science about training, and it just evolved from me trying to reach my personal goals to me helping hundreds of people. And now we're introducing monsters into our fitness app. So workouts are not only going to be quests, but the exercises that you're doing are going to be monsters that you're fighting. And every monster has an elemental affinity, and most importantly, a level. So you know where you are when it comes to the exercises that you're performing, and you know what to do next. So going from a level 1 monster to a level 2, 3, 5, 20, you can now have that streamlined path of a systematic way to challenge yourself, just like in any RPG, like Diablo, Elder Scrolls, whatever that may be. Having that clear path forward is so huge, but we could take it to a whole nother level. We have lore in there, we have skills in there, we have strategies that you can implement so that you know exactly what to do before going in. And of course, we have some awesome concept art that we are also sharing as well. So you can really get a visual of the monsters that you're fighting as well. And that's been a huge thing to really take the engagement and the immersion inside of your workouts to a whole nother level as we get closer and closer to truly having a seamless RPG in reality experience. So 4.0, 20 years in the making. It's out now. We released our roadmap. You can visit our website where you can get all of the details. But of course, when it comes to health and fitness, again, feel free to visit our website. Feel free to reach out personally. I'm here to help. I'm a wizard. I'm here to guide. And you are the warrior in our world, the hero of your own fitness story. And you can find us at fitnessfantasyrpg.com. And again, we're on all the social media platforms. We go live every Wednesday on Twitch and YouTube. And we would love for you to be part of our community. We would love to see your vision of yourself come to life. And I would love to be a part of your fitness story.
Man, you got me excited. I might have to go lift some weights after this.
Let's go. Hit up that tonal, bro.
Here's the thing. You have and I think this is again like a testament to the energy you bring and the love that you bring to all of your work. It's infectious to just hear you talk about it. But you've changed some of my own, patterns as well. Like, we had conversations about like, where can you cut sugar out in some spaces? Mm-hmm. And now I'm a skinny latte guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, there we go.
Now I'm like dropping the sugar out of my Starbucks coffee when I get my Starbucks coffee. Like I'm actively making behavioral and modifications based on the teachings that you've given. And I just came back from vacation. I walked a lot and it was great. My body felt better and all those things. So like now, you are. I tell you this all the time when we get in our meetings. Is like you're the little person on my shoulder who's like, "Yo, Ka, you don't need that, or you can wait, or you can hold off, or and it's working." Like
everyone needs a wizard, like that wizard that's always with them, guiding them on their journey.
Yeah, I appreciate you and all the forethought and all of the work that you and the team are doing to make this not only easy for people to kind of start and get into, but very comprehensive in the ways that it is coming across to all of us who are in the program and people who are looking to potentially get involved with it. So we're definitely going to have links to the site, links to all of your information in the show notes. And, we might even be doing some fun stuff together and collabing on some stuff in the future that we'll talk about on a later show. But again, thank you, fam, for being a part of this episode and sharing your good words and deeds for all the work you're doing at Infinite. You continue to amaze me with all the growth that you've had. And you continue to inspire me in a lot of different ways with the work you do and how you're going about this work in a world that is very needed to have people with good energy and good intent moving and grooving out here. So appreciate you, fam. As always,
Means a lot.
I'll bug you soon. We got to tweak some of my stuff too, because I gotta get back on the horse.
Oh yeah, you got 4.0 to experience. You got to fight some monsters.
I gotta fight some monsters. Monsters called cookies.
Yeah, the cookie monsters.
It's literally the cookie monster for me. I'm like, yo, I gotta beat these monsters by.
Yeah.
Anywho, everybody at home and listening on YouTube and Twitch and Spotify, Walter Chambers from FitnessFantasyRPG.com, head CEO of Infinite, rocking it out, handsome as ever, lifting all the weights, getting it done, making it happen. Go follow him in the work that he's doing, because it is necessary if you want to get yourself in shape. It is fantastic. We're going to take another quick break, and right after this, we have more Spawn on Me in a minute.
What if you could transform your body, level up your mind, and unleash your warrior spirit, all by playing a role-playing game? Well, now you can with Infinite, the world's first science-backed fitness fantasy RPG where real-world progress becomes your power. Create your avatar based on your goals and level, then explore game modes like the Dungeon, Academy, and Sanctum using powerful tools and apps to forge real transformation. You ready to combine fitness and gaming to unlock your ultimate potential? Then visit fitnessfantasyrpg.com and use the code SpawnOnMe for 10% off your custom plan. Play Infinite and become the hero of your own fitness story.